You're on. Neat section of slick rock here. Look at that. High Sierra Lakes, Toll House Lake, I think this is called. Above Catfish Lake, heading over to Meadow Lake that way. Perfect conditions. Early November. Before the snow flies. Chris here's
hey,
taping up his tender feet here.
Tender CEO feet, hands.
That's right. And we got the matching 350 EXC-Fs here. We'll explain more about that in a minute.
So last weekend, I got to give Chris and Tim the Grand Blancolirio tour of Sierra and Nevada County. These guys both operate and own their own small high-tech business down in the big city. We put in over 220 miles of off-road riding, including technical single track, the most riding I've done in a long time since my treatments, and it felt good. And each night we return safely back to town to spend our money on the local economy because a motorized trail economy is a real economy. Here's a little bit about what we saw and did.
We're here at the 7,000-foot elevation of what remains of one of the highest mining camps in the Sierra, Summit City, and all that's left is the old historic graveyard. It's been somewhat preserved and restored. Archaeologists have figured out where folks are. It's all being reclaimed by the forest, but they've kept somewhat of it cleaned out. Of course, Summit City only lasted a couple of years. Up at this elevation, the elements are just too extreme. You're getting upwards of 50 feet of snow up here. It would build tunnels between the cabins to try to keep the town going through the winter time. Conditions were just too harsh, but there was gold to be found up here. Summit City, Gold Rush ghost town. Nothing left of the town. Folks just left it, and the elements reclaimed the town real quickly, and there may have been some acceleration of the deterioration by the Forest Service. I don't know for a fact, but there are no buildings left of the Summit City Gold Rush town. Meadow Lake, very close to Fordyce Trail, Jeep Trail, Nevada County, California. Did you find some more over there, Chris? It goes on and on, huh? You find some more over there?
Yeah, they're all over.
Wow. It was a pretty big town at one time. Nice and quiet today. According to the plaques, the town of Summit City only lasted about 7 years in the late 1800s.
and attracted a lot of miners from the Comstock silver rush over in Nevada. As that played out, folks came over here based on the same old story of exaggerated claims of easy gold. Kidd's Dam was built to create Meadow Lake and provide water for downstream hydraulic mining operations. The town boasted over 500 buildings and 4,000 summer residents and over 10,000 mining claims in the entire Meadow Lake mining district. All that remains today is the lake, a few graves, and some foundation ruins. After Meadow Lake, we took the long and dusty trail along the ridge of the Sierra Nevada mountain range over to Bassett Station near Yuba Pass in Sierra County to hook up with one of the premier, best new section of motorized single-track trail in the entire region. As is typically the case this time of year, seasonal closures mean you need to have a fuel range of at least about 180 miles to complete this loop.
On top of the world, Pacific Crest Trail, the new motorized portion, thanks to Paul Hart and the U.S. Forest Service, redirecting this route. Was it worth the ride up here, Chris?
Good stuff. Yeah, great. Beautiful.
We're on the 350 EXC-Fs here, and it was about 88 miles just riding up here today in the dirt, roads mostly, adventure route, and then we got to loop all the way back down to Nevada City for about a good 150-mile loop. Sierra Butte's right over there looking east, and then, of course, over here looking west towards the Sacramento Valley. So Chris here is one of the original Blancolirio fans, and
Subscriber number 1.
I think so. And what we got here is a pair of twin 350 EXC-Fs from about the 2013 era. Is it years of 15? 15. So how did you find out? Were you looking up about the bike, or how did you find out about all this?
I was curious about it, and then I saw your video and others, but it just seemed to have a good balance between road and dirt. So.
And which the video was at Tour of Idaho, or just on the bike itself, setting it up?
I think it was you had just gotten it, you had done break-in, and you were talking about it.
Okay, talking about the new bike. Gotcha.
And then the Tour of Idaho one helped too. So.
Right. So what we've done to set this up, and I've copied somebody off of ADV Rider, whose name I forgot, in Oregon, who originally did the setup of the 350 EXC-F to make the long-range adventure bike capable of great single-track trails like this. We got the big tank, right?
Yeah,
4 gallons, bark busters, raised up the handlebars,
yep.
Rubber doofers there.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. And then some sort of assortment of giant loop gear to get here. I'm still running inner tubes in here, so I put my tubes and tools in there. Folding mirror for hitting the highway.
Yep.
We've left, you're still running inner tubes, right?
Still running tubes.
And so I've removed the rim locks and keep the wheels balanced so you can zip down the highway quickly with these bikes. But the Dunlop D606 tires leave something to be desired still compared to newer technologies. What else have we done to these bikes?
Maybe the gearing for the...
That's right. Lower the gearing, 1348 or better gearing for the single track trails. You want to get on these kind of trails in second gear and makes it real easy.
Better headlight helps.
Yeah, check out Chris's headlight as opposed to mine that don't work at all. And those are some of the things you can do to the EXC-350F. Still hear me?
A little bit.
So you just got back from the western half of the Trans-America Trail on this
Trans-America
bike.
Trail, yeah.
20 days?
20 days, 3,200 miles. And yeah, there's a video with all the gear I packed.
It's,
and Yeah, it's up on YouTube.
And did you camp or?
I mixed about half and half camping.
Okay.
So I had camp gear and hoteled it to clean up and do laundry and get gas.
Tell me this: what we're doing today, is any of this any harder or easier than stuff you might encounter on the Trans-America Trail?
I would say this sort of stuff would be about as hard as you'd see.
On the
There's some optional sections, challenge sections, difficult sections. I didn't do all of those, so some of those can be tricky. But the main TAT is there would be nothing like this. It's maybe difficult Jeep roads at worst.
Like those rocky Jeep roads we were on earlier.
Yeah.
It would it be about the worst?
That'd be about the worst. Yeah.
So you could do it on an adventure bike.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's made for, I think.
Got it. All right, and so the 350 must have made it a piece of cake.
It was easy. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the update, Chris.
Yeah, right on.
The Trans-America Trail that Chris is referring to is an all-dirt route all the way across the United States. So why choose the 350 over the 500 EXC-F? Even though they weigh nearly the same, the 350 has much less rotational mass, giving it a much lighter and more nimble feel to it on the technical single-track trails.
It's too big for these trails around here, and the 350 is about the perfect size. All the horsepower you need, and low-end grunt, and you're just working low RPM anyways most of the time, and you can still zip down the highway 50, 60 miles an hour. Pacific Crest Trail, High Sierra.
All right.
Get out here and enjoy it while you can before it's all burned up or otherwise. Blocked off. See you here. The motorized portion of the PCT winds all the way down the crest. Neat section of slick rock here. Look at that.
This Pacific Crest Extension Trail eventually merges into Pauley Creek and the entire Downeyville single-track trail system, not for the faint of heart, and eventually ends you up back in the town of Downeyville, California.
That. Real waterfalls. Drop the phone, Brownie. Pauley Creek Trail. The first 110 miles out in.
Yeah.
Ready for the next 100? It's only about 50 miles back,
50, okay.
back to home.
Good stuff.
Yeah. We'll probably take the less dusty route as we're starting to lose daylight out there now.
So get out there and ride while you can, meet some new friends, and ride some of the local trails and find some of the local history that other folks will never see. See you here. Brought to you in part by Giant Loop Moto, Bend, Oregon, Sierra Motorsports, Grass Valley, California, and Santa Barbara Chocolates, Santa Barbara, California. Don't leave home without them. And your support on Patreon. Thank you for your support.